I did. I actually was lucky enough to direct my first short film, and he was surprisingly, when we asked him, he said yes.
She was America's sweetheart, the woman who made the world laugh, cry, and believe in happy endings. But behind Jennifer Aniston's dazzling smile lies a life shaped by heartbreak, loss, and battles that fame could never protect her from. At 56, her story is far from the perfect Hollywood dream. It's one marked by tragedy, resilience, and a fight for peace in a world that has watched her every move for decades. Jennifer Aniston rose to fame in the 1990s as Rachel Green on Friends, one of the most iconic sitcoms of all time. She became a symbol of style, charm, and comedic brilliance, turning her into one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. From romantic comedies to critically acclaimed roles, her career seemed unstoppable. But beyond the red carpets and box office successes, Jennifer's personal life tells a different story. Failed marriages, strained family relationships, heartbreaking losses, and the crushing weight of public scrutiny have all left scars that few truly understand. Today, we're uncovering the untold story of Jennifer Aniston's tragedies, the heartbreaks that shaped her, the pain she's carried in silence, and the resilience that continues to define her journey. Long before Jennifer Aniston was one of the most recognized faces in Hollywood, she was just a little girl growing up in a fractured household. Born in Sherman Oaks, California, Jennifer was the daughter of actors John Aniston and Nancy Dow. From the outside, it may have looked like a perfect setup for a child destined for stardom, but behind the scenes, her childhood was anything but perfect. When Jennifer was just 9 years old, her father walked out on the family. John Aniston left Nancy without warning, leaving Jennifer to face the emotional scars of abandonment. That sudden disappearance created deep trust issues that would follow her well into adulthood. Jennifer has spoken about how she didn't fully understand why her father left, and that lack of closure left her feeling unworthy of stability. Her relationship with her mother was no easier. Nancy Dow, herself an actress who struggled in Hollywood, had a strained and often critical relationship with Jennifer. Reports describe Nancy as harsh and perfectionistic, often picking apart her daughter's looks and behavior. This difficult dynamic created feelings of insecurity that Jennifer battled for decades, even at the height of her fame. The combination of a broken home and a complicated mother-daughter relationship created a foundation of pain that Jennifer would later carry into her adult relationships. For many fans, this revelation is heartbreaking, because even though Jennifer became one of the most beloved stars in the world, she never truly had the safe, stable family life so many take for granted. As Jennifer Aniston's career began to rise, the shadows of her childhood never really left her, especially when it came to her mother, Nancy Dow. Their relationship was one of the most publicized and painful aspects of Jennifer's personal life. Nancy, who had pursued acting but never reached the levels of success she dreamed of, was often critical of Jennifer. She reportedly focused on her daughter's appearance, pointing out flaws, and instilling in her a deep sense of self-doubt. For a young woman entering one of the most image-obsessed industries in the world, these early criticisms became a constant inner battle. The tension reached a breaking point in the late 1990s when Nancy published a memoir titled From Mother and Daughter to Friends. In the book, she shared details of her strained relationship with Jennifer, something the actress considered a deep betrayal. At the height of her Friends fame, Jennifer distanced herself from her mother, and for years they were estranged. This estrangement wasn't just a Hollywood gossip headline. It was a deeply painful family rift. Jennifer missed major milestones with her mother, and Nancy wasn't even invited to her wedding to Brad Pitt. For Jennifer, who longed for peace and unconditional love, the relationship with Nancy became a source of ongoing heartbreak. Though the two eventually reconciled in Nancy's later years, the scars of their fractured bond never fully healed. Jennifer has admitted that the criticism she endured from her mother shaped the insecurity she still struggles with today. The tragedy here is not just the estrangement itself, but the emotional toll of a mother-daughter relationship that never truly found harmony. When Friends premiered in 1994, Jennifer Aniston's life changed overnight. Her role as Rachel Green turned her into a global superstar, complete with magazine covers, fan clubs, and endless media attention. She became a fashion icon, and the Rachel haircut sparked one of the biggest style trends of the decade. But while the world adored her, Jennifer quietly struggled with the weight of fame. Suddenly, every detail of her life, her relationships, her appearance, even her eating habits, became public property. Tabloids followed her every move, spinning rumors and often inventing scandals to sell copies. For someone who had grown up craving stability, this constant scrutiny was overwhelming. Jennifer has admitted that despite being surrounded by people, she often felt profoundly lonely. Fame created walls around her. Genuine connections were difficult to maintain, and trust became a rare commodity. The pain of her father leaving and her strained bond with her mother had already left her vulnerable, and the media circus only magnified those wounds. Instead of enjoying her success, Jennifer found herself battling anxiety and insecurity. She has said that at times she felt like she was performing even in her private life, always aware of how the public might perceive her. What the world saw as glamorous often felt like a cage. The tragedy here is that Jennifer, at the peak of her career and adored by millions, was privately struggling with isolation. Fame gave her everything she once dreamed of, but it also took away the simple joys of privacy, peace, and genuine connection. Jennifer Aniston's marriage to Brad Pitt was once seen as the ultimate Hollywood love story. The two married in 2000, and for a time, they were the golden couple of the entertainment world. Red carpets, magazine covers, and interviews painted a picture of perfection. Two beautiful, successful stars seemingly living a fairy tale. But behind the scenes, cracks were forming. Both Jennifer and Brad were under immense pressure from fame, and the constant scrutiny of their relationship added strain. Then came 2005, the year that would shatter Jennifer's world. Brad began working on Mr. and Mrs. Smith alongside Angelina Jolie, and soon rumors of an affair began dominating headlines. By early 2005, Jennifer and Brad announced their separation, and within months, Brad and Angelina's relationship became public. For Jennifer, it was a devastating betrayal, one that played out not just privately, but in front of the entire world. Tabloids painted her as the woman left behind, with covers declaring her America's most heartbroken sweetheart. Jennifer later admitted that the media frenzy was unbearable. Every interview, every appearance seemed to circle back to her failed marriage. The public sympathy, while supportive, only magnified her pain, making her heartbreak feel like a never-ending spectacle. For years, Jennifer carried the label of being unlucky in love, a title that haunted her far more than fans realized. The tragedy wasn't just the end of a marriage, it was the humiliation of having her most personal heartbreak turned into global gossip, stripping her of privacy and dignity at her most vulnerable moment. After the collapse of her marriage to Brad Pitt, Jennifer Aniston found herself under a microscope like never before. Every date, every rumored romance, every casual outing with a male co-star was dissected and splashed across magazine covers. Instead of being allowed to quietly heal, she became the face of heartbreak in Hollywood. Jennifer dated several high-profile men in the years that followed: Vince Vaughn, John Mayer, and eventually Justin Theroux, whom she married in 2015. Each relationship came with sky-high expectations, as the media and fans desperately wanted her to find the happiness she deserved. But each time a breakup occurred, the narrative returned. Jennifer can't keep a man, or Jennifer's unlucky in love. The cruel part of this public obsession was how it reduced Jennifer's identity to her romantic status. Her professional achievements, starring in hit films, winning awards, and reinventing herself as both a comedic and dramatic actress, were often overshadowed by speculation about her private life. Even her marriage to Justin Theroux, which many believed was her chance at lasting happiness, ended in divorce after just 2 years. Once again, the headlines weren't about her career, but about her failure in love. The tragedy in this chapter of her life lies not only in the relationships that ended, but in the relentless public judgment she endured. Jennifer has often said she's tired of the narrative that her worth depends on whether she has a partner or children. But for years, the media refused to let her escape that shadow, making her personal struggles a public spectacle she never asked for. For years, Jennifer Aniston's personal life has been defined by one relentless question: when will she have children? Tabloids speculated endlessly about whether she was pregnant, if she had fertility issues, or if she simply chose not to be a mother. Magazine covers often featured close-up shots of her stomach with headlines like "Finally Pregnant," even when there was no truth to the claims. Behind the headlines was real pain. Jennifer has admitted that motherhood is something she dreamed about, but circumstances, timing, and relationships made it difficult. She has never confirmed whether she struggled with infertility, but she has expressed frustration over the constant judgment from society. The assumption that a woman's worth is tied to whether she becomes a mother. In one candid interview, Jennifer said, "We don't need to be married or mothers to be complete. We are complete with or without a mate, with or without a child." But her brave words didn't stop the endless speculation. The tragedy here is twofold. Not only did Jennifer face private heartbreak over her family dreams, but she also had to endure it all under the harsh spotlight of public gossip. For many fans, this became one of the most heartbreaking aspects of her story. Watching her dignity constantly under attack while she fought for her right to define happiness on her own terms. As Jennifer navigated fame, heartbreak, and constant public scrutiny, she also faced the pain of losing people close to her. One of the most devastating losses was her mother, Nancy Dow, who passed away in 2016 after years of estrangement. Though they had reconciled somewhat before her death, Jennifer was left grappling with the unresolved pain of their complicated relationship. Another heartbreak came in 2019 when Jennifer lost one of her dearest friends and Friends co-star, Matthew Perry, who had long struggled with addiction and health issues before his passing. Though the cast remained close, Matthew's decline and eventual death struck Jennifer especially hard. For years, she had been one of the friends who quietly supported him during his darkest times. These losses reminded Jennifer and her fans that even the brightest stars are not immune to grief. Each death forced her to confront the fragility of life and the bittersweet reality of time passing. The tragedy here isn't just in the losses themselves, but in the pattern of Jennifer's life. Just when she seems to find peace, another wave of grief arrives. Whether in family or friendships, Jennifer has endured more heartbreak than most realize, carrying it with quiet strength that often goes unseen by the public. Fame has given Jennifer Aniston wealth, success, and a place in television history. But it has also cost her dearly. After decades under the harsh eye of the media, Jennifer has spoken more openly in recent years about the toll it has taken on her mental health. Behind the radiant smiles on red carpets, there were days when Jennifer struggled with deep anxiety and overwhelming loneliness. She has admitted to going through long periods of therapy to deal with childhood trauma, failed relationships, and the crushing expectations of fame. The public image of America's sweetheart often hid the truth. Jennifer was fighting her own inner battles, working hard to find balance and peace. The gossip, the speculation, the constant comparisons to other women, it all left scars that no amount of success could erase. Yet, despite these struggles, Jennifer has chosen to be open about mental health, using her platform to encourage others to seek help and remove the stigma around therapy. She's been honest about the importance of self-care, setting boundaries, and protecting her emotional well-being. The tragedy here lies not only in what Jennifer has endured, but also in how her pain has often been turned into entertainment for the world. Still, her resilience, her ability to keep going, to keep working, and to keep inspiring shows a strength far greater than the tragedies that have defined her story. Jennifer's battle with mental health is a reminder that even those who seem to have it all may be fighting silent wars behind closed doors. And in many ways, that honesty has made her more beloved than ever before. At 56, Jennifer Aniston's life is not the glossy fairy tale many once imagined. It is a story marked by family fractures, painful relationships, public scrutiny, loss, and silent struggles with loneliness and mental health. Yet, it is also a story of resilience. Through every heartbreak, Jennifer has continued to rise, not as a flawless icon, but as a human being who refuses to let tragedy define her. Her journey reminds us that even the brightest stars carry shadows, and that strength isn't about living without pain, but about learning to live through it. Her legacy is no longer just about Rachel Green, Hollywood red carpets, or box office hits. It is about survival, perseverance, and finding meaning in the face of heartbreak. Jennifer Aniston's tragedy is real, but so is her triumph. So, what do you think? Has Jennifer's story changed the way you see her? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more untold stories of the stars you thought you knew. Because sometimes the greatest drama isn't on screen, it's in the lives they live when the cameras stop rolling.